What's up guys, it's Average Joel making average content for the average viewer, and today I thought I'd take a break from the repeated stab in the balls that Cold War has become for me and try something new. Hitman 3, and I thought what better use for a sandbox game like Hitman could there be than to use it as a cathartic tool to take out my frustrations with Activision. Now, as we all know, Activision, like any big corporation, has more money than GameStop has investors with sweat problems and acne, and this has allowed them to build the biggest building in the world, in Dubai. I mean seriously, that is so typical of these guys. Not only are they taking a world record away from someone, but they build the thing right next door. What a power move. So I thought I'd use my essential job as an influencer to fly out to Dubai and give the heads of this company, who will remain nameless for monetization purposes, a piece of my goddamn mind. So first things first, I needed to change out of my slightly S&M inspired leathers and slip into something more inconspicuous. The sort of thing that just screams I wasn't cool until my nerdiness made me some money. That being said, this outfit can only get me so far, and if I actually want to make my way to the head honchos of this corporation, I'm going to need to find a disguise. Luckily for me, as I'm walking around trying to find a nice glass of Pinot Gris to build up some Dutch courage to speak my mind, I stumble across this man talking to a lady complaining about having to be frisked to get into the VIP area. And you know what? I don't think I can blame him. I mean, it's 2021, and if people get offended by calling vegan sausages, then getting rubbed up by a stranger in a foreign land is bound to ruffle your feathers. Anyway, I decide that despite all that, I actually don't mind a little close contact, so I decide I'll take the man's disguise and take his place. I hide in a bush and make an absolute 300 IQ play by treating him like the Witcher and tossing a coin as a distraction. Luckily, my bush is super dense, so the poor chap doesn't even see me, allowing me to knock him unconscious and take his disguise. So here I am, looking like a trimmed Harry Hill. That's one thing I've always admired about the Hitman games. Just by taking someone's clothes, you fully become that person. I guess people just assume that I've had some rapid onset alopecia, and that's why I no longer have hair. Anyway, with my newfound identity, I decided to do what any man in someone else's skin would do, and blatantly sexually harass another guest. Someone really needs to tell Agent 47 that upskirting is so 2016. So I get myself frisked and use my new disguise to gain entry to a meeting with the head of the company, Carl Ingram. I'd love to tell you what I said during this little speech, but I zoned out after he started droning on about how they need to keep new players protected and weren't going to bother putting any actual effort into their games. Dickhead. Now after that absolute snooze fest, I decide I need to up my game so I can roam around the building with more freedom, and what better way to do that than to take the outfit of one of Ingram's guards. The thing is about being a highly trained hitman is that anything is a weapon. For example, take this apple. Most of you see a tasty snack that's high in fibre and promotes regular bowel movements, but I see a deadly projectile that I can use to take this guard out. So with deadly precision, I slap this noob and stash his body in a closet, taking his outfit. I must say, being in a position of authority all of a sudden really gives me the urge to abuse my powers. Who'd have thought it? As I'm taking a stroll about the place, I come across a small little security office with a guard who's fallen asleep, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't blame him. I mean, look at the boredom that he's been subjected to. I find a naked guard who is scheduled to be a personal bodyguard of my second target, Marcus Stuyvesant. I'm not exactly sure if that's how you pronounce his name, and to be honest, it does look like one of the devs might have had a minor stroke whilst typing the name in the first place. Anyway, I decide to take this guy's place, so I launch a wrench at his head and strangle the maid that he was talking to. I'd like to take this opportunity to just point out that I don't actually condone the strangling of women. With that being said, when something as important as addressing skill-based matchmaking is on the line, I will do whatever it takes. So I hide the bodies and pack up the transfer papers into my pocket. I'm prompted that I need to get one of those white sailor outfits to pass off as this guard. Using my cunning and wit, I use yet more fruit and place a couple of banana skins on the floor. Now, this might seem like it's for comical effect, but I assure you that this is a technique widely recognised by the CIA and MI6. Plus, it's a healthy way to get another one of your 5 a day. So I get into position and I toss a coin to the other side of the skins to make one of the guards go and check it out. He slips over and knocks himself out, leaving me the opportunity to pacify his buddy. I drag them both into the toilet and undress one of them. This means that when they wake up, they will both be so embarrassed at what might have taken place in that bathroom that neither of them will ever speak about it again. Plus, if a cleaner stumbles across them, she won't say anything through fear of sounding homophobic. Take that, SJWs. So, here I am. I have the outfit and the papers to match, and I actually feel like I'm making some progress towards talking to the people that have made Call of Duty such a goddamn insufferable mess. I go to the main security office and await my target. I feel like for a company that has such high profile clients, this security firm are pretty lax when it comes to vetting out their employees. Like, seriously. Did they not have a picture of this dude? And are they not going to question the bald-headed man who looks like he was grown in a test tube? But who cares? My target arrives and checks over my paperwork, and we head out for a little walk whilst he explains exactly what it is that he expects from me. He takes me outside onto the balcony, and I mischievously place another banana skin on the edge. This might seem like a silly little mistake, but trust me, I have a plan. Marcus tells me that if I'm going to be his bodyguard, I first need to show him how good I am at throwing knives, so that he can properly assess which skill-based matchmaking bracket I should be in. Now look, I know, I should have just reverse boosted so that I could have been put into the noob lobbies, but if I'm being completely honest, my competitive streak completely kicked in, and I made like an incel with a fleshlight and fucking smashed it. You see, I really did just come here to talk, but he started going on about how much he hates the hardcore Call of Duty player base, and how he wished that every single map in the franchise was just one big safe space so that people could just hide in it and compare their flashing bullets, anime skins, and tiny fucking penises. This made me see red, and where I only meant to prank him with the banana skin, after he slips on it, I fully go Chris Benoit on the other guard and then walk over to his unconscious body. I bend down and whisper in his ear, "You would never have survived the Modern Warfare 2 lobby, you bitch," and then proceed to roll him off the edge. Take that. Okay, so in the interest of transparency, this didn't actually scratch my itch for violence. Not quite enough anyway, so I decided to just reload the save and straight up boot the little dick off the edge like Spartacus. That's better. The issue now was that I had accidentally killed one guy who could fix Call of Duty, and now had to go about finding the second chap to see if I could talk some sense into him instead. I climb up onto the penthouse helipad and throw a can of coke at one of the guards to knock him out. Like I said, I'm not here to hurt people, although it did just mean that the poor guy fell to his death. Sorry mate, but needs must. I do the same to his pal, but luckily he doesn't think he can fly, so I'm able to take his penthouse guard outfit and make my way inside. Once in the penthouse, I go into the pantry to see if there's anything in there that could help me out. I know that there is a famous chef preparing food for Ingram in the kitchen, so I hatch an ingenious plan to tamper with the ice machine, making him come into the pantry so I might be able to persuade him to swap clothes with me, so that I would be able to get close to Carl and discuss monetization strategies that both help Activision and the core player base. However, this plan is somewhat spoiled, as the member of staff that's already in the room with me gets a little bit upset by my actions, and in a moment of panic, instead of just knocking him out, I accidentally throw a screwdriver right into his jugular. Maybe I am cut out to be an assassin after all. The chef walks in and sees me covered in blood and, well, quite understandably, panics a little bit. In an unfortunate turn of events, I do him the exact way that I did the other guy and throw the screwdriver right into his eye socket. Sorry pal, it's nothing personal. I disguise myself as the chef and make my way into the kitchen. Now, this plan of becoming a chef was all very good right up until I realised that I could only cook super noodles, and preparing a delicious fish-based starter that was both healthy and, well, edible wasn't exactly on the cards. So I do my best and ring the bell to tell Carl that it's ready. Now, I'm not a betting man, but I am 100% sure that after eating my fish dish that I'd so lovingly prepared for Carl, he might need a trip to the little boy's room. This would be perfect because that would give us an opportunity to speak mano a mano without any of his nasty little guards butting in. So I decide to give up all dignity and go completely George Michael and hide in the bathroom. And then wham! Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, my plan works a treat and Carl comes in. I close the door behind him and start discussing how I thought that the current way that they are manipulating players into spending more money in the store by rigging games and punishing long-term players was just downright rude and not a good business practice. But would you believe it? The rude little fucker wasn't even listening to me. To be fair, he was looking a little bit rough, so I decided to be the bigger man and rub his little back to make him feel better. Unfortunately, he had puked on the floor a little bit and left it pretty slippery, so I lost my balance and, well, accidentally drowned him. Look, I know I messed this up a tad, but I think that it's important that we all learn a lesson from this. Nobody is perfect and you'll only end up suffering with poor mental health if you try to be. Anyway, it's pretty clear that I've outstayed my welcome here, and I think it's probably just a good idea if I leave. Luckily, I know for a fact that there is a little parachute left for me on the balcony, so I'm able to slip out completely unnoticed, and with a 3-star rating to boot. Perfect. Anyway, that's about it for today's video. I know that this isn't my usual Cold War rant and it's not necessarily what you subscribe to me for, but as long as I can remember, I've always loved playing single player games, and it would be awesome if you guys would continue to support the channel if I uploaded some more entertainment focused content like this. Those of you who have watched these videos for a while will know that I love to see who sticks around until the end. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. Would you mind seeing more videos like this from me? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.